Who's gonna go first? I see you. I know you've seen me. Who's gonna go first? The world loves us more when we're rooted and steady. Who's gonna go first? We will be there for each other when panic take we belly. Who's gonna go first? Cho, I love me I deal with. So let me tell you howdy. And stop ask, who's gonna go first? Greetings and welcome to this episode of ORT. The poem was about that moment, that split second when you're driving your car or on public transport or walking along a street and you see a brother or a sister and the moment presents itself when you can both exchange a friendly greeting, but you don't. You walk by, conscious you've just walked past one of your own people, but unsure about what it all means and what you can do about it, you do nothing. This is the topic of this episode of ORT. We join our resident panelists, Ebony Harmony, Kindred Spirit, and a new panel member, Brother S, discussing the visible decline in black people being able to greet each other under very ordinary circumstances. Organize, sit down, reason and talk. How we currently greet each other as black people. I've noticed a change. I don't know if that's a universal experience, but there has been a kind of lack of confidence to maintain even a millisecond of an eye contact between our own community. And I think it's also split on gender lines, but I'm welcome to hear people's views in terms of their experience about black people greeting each other or not.
The thing that kind of strikes me is we don't greet each other in the way that we used to, and I've lived through a time where we did, so there's definitely a difference that I'm noticing. But I'm wondering if it's because we don't see each other in the way that we used to. Is it that we are seeing each other but failing to make a connection, or have we lost the ability to actually see each other? And I mean on a deeper level, to actually perceive each other. I'm not sure which one it is.
What would a deeper level mean?
There was a time, and it wasn't that long ago, if I go back to my teens and early 20s, where I could get on a bus or a train, and if there was somebody in the carriage or even on the bus that looked like me, there was a kind of unspoken understanding.
Okay.
Even if we weren't sitting next to each other,
Yeah.
there was a very, and it could be a very subtle kind of nod in that direction, but we were aware of each other,
Yeah.
right, in a positive way.
Almost like you have each other's back.
Yeah, and I felt that, and that was real. So it wasn't. We didn't have to greet each other in a kind of obvious way. There was just an awareness that there was somebody like me sitting on this bus or this train.
Yeah.
It's that. That's the level that I'm talking about.
Yeah. It reminds me of once I went out with a white colleague. We was at work, and we had to go to another office or something like that. So as we was walking, this is years back in the day, we was walking, we'd see people and obviously I'd hear them up. So after about a few of these incidents, he say, "Oh, you know a lot of people?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, "I don't know them, but I have to hear them up."
It's a greeting, yeah.
I have to hear them up.
Yes.
And it's interesting you say that, and like I said, I've been thinking about this a lot because it still seems strange to me that I walk past somebody who looks like me.
Yeah.
That connection isn't there, and I've come to a theory that I think there are a few modern day social norms that perhaps still challenge us as individuals, and to the point that I think sometimes we look at each other with suspicion or trepidation. There are changes like perhaps sexuality and mixed cultures in relationships, and there are sections of our community who don't perhaps champion or put the crown on being black and being community minded and so forth and what have you. And I think we've all faced it in such that we may well take the lead, as we should do, and that's another thing that I've kind of like owned. But when we do, sometimes we don't get a response. Sometimes we get looked at with suspicion.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a second look, you know, we're looked at as if we're a bit strange. So there are all these things that perhaps challenge what we would maybe do as a matter of course. So there's all these things that maybe get
eating how we have
and I think because I've been thinking, one of the things that I was challenging myself, you know, put out something, let it go viral, challenge everyone to say good morning to every person, you know, somebody from the community that you see as you pass, just say hello, whether you get a response or not. And I thought if that was done, then surely it would grow, because people would understand that actually, traditionally, culturally, this is what we do, and I just feel like we're not owning enough. Because I can criticise the person who didn't say hello, or the person who didn't. Well, what did I do?
No, fair enough.
I think it's a really important subject matter.
Yeah. I mean, as you were speaking, it sounds like we're struggling to find a way of developing or maintaining loyalty to the brand.
Yeah. And to some extent, that's a bit judgmental, because to an extent I feel like, well, so what about all those things? I may not agree with them, some of them I do, but what about my values? What about what I've been raised with? What about our identities as a community? What's wrong with saying hello to somebody who didn't say hello back? Or who may have a life that I don't agree with? Is it about them or about me?
But was you also saying at the same time that people are influenced by different things, and somehow they're actively not saying hello to you? And I think that's what the issue.
There's a difference,
Because they probably summon you up on how you look and think, I don't want to be part of what you are. Because even though I'm saying we're not speaking to each other, I say hello to everybody I meet. I don't care what the color is. I'm just noticing the fall off. And sometimes I'll go some places. It's weird, even since Brexit, white people talk to me more. They want to have deeper conversations more time, spontaneously. So we have this dichotomy where our own people, somehow this greeting is becoming really anxiety provoking for reasons I cannot understand. And yet with other groups, they're willing to talk, willing to give a head nod or something. So it's there.
That's interesting, because I'm wondering if it, particularly with the white community, does it then make them feel comfortable that actually you've said hello and you're smiling and you've perhaps dispelled whatever was happening for them, or whatever their preconceived ideas or judgments were and what have you. It's a good thing, but that's perhaps
part of it,
possibly.
And it may be, sometimes they initiate as well, so I don't want to make it look like I'm always, but what I'm saying is I generally hold my gaze with people for a millisecond to allow that exchange to take place. And sometimes with our own people, mainly women, I must admit, it's mainly the women, either them look on the pavement or they just try to, if they were children, all of a sudden they want to talk to the children. So there's this kind of actively trying not to engage that, and I don't know what that is all about.
What are they seeing? What is it that is, because that would not have happened.
No.
So what is fixed in people's minds now that is,
I don't know. Till one time I had to stop a woman, I say, you know something? So why is it black woman keep on a walk past? Because she said, I didn't say, next time I go, I will make sure I hold up my head. Because there's only two of us on the lane. This was the thing, you know. So I don't know.
she saw.
She was aware.
Two of us was on the lane in our park.
She saw
and
you,
I said,
but she didn't see you. She's
Yes.
seen something else.
Wow. So here's the thing, and you would be aware of this. My attire today is not how I represent myself in the work world.
During 9 to 5,
Right? And I made a conscious decision about that some years ago, in an attempt to remove what might have been, for me, an existing stereotype, an existing negative stereotype of me. Because I found myself at times feeling, not necessarily being, but feeling like I needed to apologize for my presence. So I might come into a room back then in this more attire and say, more, and there we go, oh God. And I think, maybe I need to work on going, morning. And I'm thinking, well, I ain't gonna really be able to keep that up with me, because what's that saying? Am I gonna really apologize for what I've inherited? nah, I don't know that I'm prepared to do that.
Yeah.
And then I thought about maybe it's the cap and the hood and the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's disperse with that. Let us come in a way which now bamboozles them, and you see me, it bamboozles people, black and white, where they look and they look.
Twice.
And I'm right, good. So now, if you hold it long enough, you'll see me. I am not the enemy.
Yeah.
Right? And I see you. I see you. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I see you. Because if we can't do that, we can't do anything else. We can't do anything else.
But how does the disarming of people generally, and I get it,
Yes.
how does that fit with this kind of decline in having each other's back, which Gary was talking about?
Well, I am still aware. It's a really good point that you made. I am always aware when I come into a room, I do the scan. And I'm looking for something that represents me.
Yeah.
And from I've got that, we might, I'm not doing this, but
Yeah.
or I might just say to myself, phew,
Yeah.
I've got 2 days of this training, and thank goodness, a couple of people of them look like me. Because somewhere in there, consciously or otherwise, I'm gonna find myself gravitating towards during tea break, lunchtime,
something, and it's a
a group exercise. After that, we're gonna have a lingering conversation that's different, but just as valuable as all them other conversations that we've just. And that's a check-in.
It's an added dimension.
It's saying I see you. It's saying I see you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to date you. I understand that there may be a thing where sometimes in that lane that you gave the example of, the woman and the guy coming up. Now there may be some other issues going on there about it's this guy on his own and I'm a woman and I'm on my own. There may be some of those things which are going on that also mess that thing up. She might.
But from back in the day, sisters were glad to see her brother.
That's my point.
Yes.
They'd be glad.
Okay. So
worse if you look a little bit conscious.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
But at least then, I wonder then if some of the outside forces have come in and skewed our view about what we look for in one another to feel safe.
Very good question.
I wonder if our view has been somewhat skewed by that.
Yeah, it's kind of part and parcel of what I'm saying, all these other elements that are now introduced into society. We've almost lost sight of us.
Yes. I don't, sorry to cut you, I don't often use the tube because we were doing some training a couple of weeks ago and it was 2 days training. I was on the train and it struck me. The journey is there and the journey is back home. There were a number of people that looked like me. Very few of them looked at me. And because I normally drive in my car to work and go to my appointments, I had lost contact.
Yes.
But it became glaringly aware.
Yeah, man.
I became glaringly aware. I'm looking, it's a what? It's a 0.5 seconds. If you just hold it,
man.
I will
man.
tell you I see you. But they're not even doing that. Heads are down, there were so many people on phones. Is that a huge invasion? There were far less people on books than there are on phones. Yeah. Everybody was on their phone. Yeah. So I don't know if they didn't see anybody.
But we used to have a radar, did we not?
Yeah, we did.
That even if you drive past, we catch you.
Yes.
We catch you just in time for
yes.
us up.
Yes.
And so unless the phone has interrupted the radar.
I don't know, because we've got this kind of flip where you're saying you're getting more engagement from people who don't look like you, who now feel safe to come.
And after Brexit of all things.
So something's
because we all took it that there was a race element with connected with the immigration. Yeah. But up and down the country, and like I said, I have the personality where I greet people anyway.
Yes.
So I'm invited.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the spontaneous conversations are more likely to happen.
Yes.
So,
but I think that there's another thing going on there. I don't know if we want to cross it, but believe that there's another thing going on with that. I think in their partaking with us now and having this conversation about Brexit, subconsciously they're saying oh, it's not you.
Yes,
You're-
of course.
Yeah, you're
You're one of the
included
good
now.
ones.
You're included.
You're all right.
You're included.
Yeah.
Because the argument has become bigger about the Eastern Europeans.
Yes. And even Muslim
Well, and we are
identification
neither.
of the country.
And we are neither.
Yeah.
They might find out later that you
Yeah.
might be.
Yeah.
But when they look at you, they can't decipher that. And I think therefore we have become less of a threat to them. And they're saying, well, come on in.
Yeah.
You still won't let me come in your house and eat.
Yeah.
But I understand now that you see me as less of a threat than you did before because I'm not your archetypal Eastern European or your Muslim.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, my surname might
Might
betray
be that we have.
Mhm. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do, but how have we become less of a threat to them and more of a threat to each other in terms of
Great
perception?
question.
At what point did that happen, and what is the thing that
All
tipped
right.
it over?
Here is a litmus test.
Okay.
What colour do you think most of the people who've been stabbed are and killed in London?
In London.
Yeah.
In London, yeah.
Around the country, just say, what colour do you think they are?
Okay.
I take on, sometimes I'm picking up some anxieties about younger people or people who may have a certain lifestyle. And I know that the media has helped shaping that
Yes.
that perception.
And that thought.
So you start to think less about, or I do start to think less about housing issues, discrimination, or you know, broken relationships, and more about kind of personal agency and say, well, you know, something. Are you like throwing up and down with a knife and stab people? That's your thing. And then you have to kind of put that person within that age group because the other day when you had a problem at the cinema with the opening of the new movie, and you see some of the youths with machete. These are like 13-year-old shit. So now I'm having to extend my dislike from maybe like say 18 to 25 or whatever they say in the media to younger people. Because I'm saying these things, if you're reading it all the time, it's on the news all the time, and you're taking it in, there's going to be
It spends itself down.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's just an example, because you had terrorism as well, and again we were very much kind of drawn into that, you know, with the killing of Rigby and things like that. We're drawn into that kind of image of what does a terrorist look like.
Yes.
So these things, I'm just saying, you know, they must seep through even if it's 2% or 0.5%. So.
And none
Even
of
though I
us
still
wants to be
actively try to-
associated with
Yes.
it, so it's a disassociation.
Yes.
So if I don't
And that's just
acknowledge
one of the
you,
things.
then yeah. Okay.
That's just one of the things that affects us now. I mean, there's been like shootings in dances and things like that, and going around on WhatsApp, and you know, sometimes you know, yes, we want loyalty to the brand, but sometimes the brand becomes toxic by what we get
That's very true.
sent back to us.
What's the brand?
And I don't know, because I would consider myself conscious. Maybe some of the people I see are not conscious, or maybe things that would turn them off much quicker than that would turn me off the brand.
So let me ask you something then. Do you think you were born conscious or you became conscious?
It's a journey that I want to
Okay.
stay on.
And I wonder, for many of those youths, if they're not in a conscious place, but they may become so if they're given a chance.
Yeah.
That right now, the way in which they don't think before they act, and they just follow in fashion to a degree, even to the point where it might mean that they lose their lives, right? I mean, you can't rectify that. You can't even tell them about. They can't even. Many of them can't even comprehend what that might mean. You know, when you're dead, you're dead. You know, there ain't no comeback, ain't no real. And you can see some of them when you're telling them stuff like that. You're reasoning with them that they're blinking at you like they don't get it. So I pity them to one degree, but I'm also concerned about when somebody don't care.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody has a don't care attitude, they're very dangerous enough. Even to themselves, they're very, very dangerous. So I wonder then, I've worked with them, I continue to work with some of them to a degree, and the greeting brings me full circle. The greeting, I demand it of them. Before we can do anything, when I've met the families and they say, oh, my boy's in a point of exclusion and permanent exclusion, he bought a knife in the system in the toilet and he was going to do this, and I'm like, okay, I hear all that, mum, I hear all that, daddy, but I hear what, you know. Before we can do some work, I'm going to meet your son on his own. And we're going to do that thing there. He can't greet me with his hands in his tracksuit bottoms, in the 2 tracksuit bottoms here. He did that somehow. He hand in there, he got cheap pair of trousers on. Lord knows what's going on down in that area. And you're gonna reach out your hand and spot. No, we can't do that, son.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So there's something about respecting you.
Yeah.
I want to greet you, but we can't do it like that.
Yeah. What it said me remind me of a scene out of The Wire. And there was a black officer who was like a head officer and a junior officer. And when he was telling off the junior officer, he couldn't maintain eye contact. So the head officer said, maintain eye contact. You know, it's so there's something quite fragile maybe about maybe in this case the male ego in terms of managing that.
Yes. So we have a conversation. I say, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to condemn you. I'm going to get excluded. If that's to you, I can't stop that. But all I've said is, whilst that's going on, before you determine whether or not you're going to exclude them, you've got to give me a chance to work with them. So the threat of exclusion has to be on pause. They might not remove it. Some of the schools are saying, oh, no, who are you to come and tell us what to do? We're an institution. But I'll say to them, well, pause it then. Because if you're going to exclude him, and he knows that already, why is he going to invest in me?
Where's the incentive?
Yeah.
You know? Oh, yeah, you might have a point. All right, but we'll give you 3 sessions and then we can review. All right, give me that then. Give me that. But then we're going to, you know, everything starts with the greeting. So from you see me, you know, blood. No, you can't refer to me. Fam, no. Ralph, no. So we have that conversation. This is how it go. This is, you've got a name. This is how that go. And from here on in, whenever I see you, I'm going to refer to you by your title that you gave me. Your boys them can call you what you like. If people them can, but when you see me, you either call me by that or you call me sir, and we're good.
Yeah, man.
Right? And then we build from there. I might chuck in Prince when I'm ready. I might chuck in young man. Hey, remember, you know, you're Prince.
Oh, okay, yeah. I elevate them, definitely.
Oh. Right? So I chuck it. Now I'm going to check with him. Does he wear it? Or does he squirm when I'm... Because then if you don't want to wear it, it's all right.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to show you something.
Maybe you can grow into it.
But everything is with the greed.
Yeah.
And then they become accustomed to it. Now we don't have the fam and the blood and the bruv thing again now. They call me, oh, sir. Oh. Good. And then now we can, and then now we can move from there. Now we can clasp hands. Things. Now we can, okay. Yeah. And then he tells his people then, not him, you know. You can't go like that with my man. He's an OG, you know. Well, my person had it, though. Rare. You can't do that with him. Good. So we command the respect. I'm going to give it back. I know you're doing some naughty stuff. We're going to talk about it.
We'll work through it. Yeah.
We're going to talk about it. I ain't here to condemn you.
Right, we're going to finish shortly. We end on one thing that we're going to do different, that we've not done previously to the show. But I also want to acknowledge that I do get lots of heel-ups and lots of big-ups. It's not all, and I'm sure we all get some train station, bus, whatever, people will heal you. But what thing would you do differently after today's conversation, in a sentence?
For me, because what I normally do is I try and smile if I can, but I don't necessarily speak. So I think I want to go the step further and now actually greet somebody. Having heard that, what you just said, Brother S, I think I actually now need to speak. Hold the eye contact and say something, even something quiet.
How about you? You're doing a lot already, but...
Yeah, I've got to maintain. Because I know when I'm ready, the infant in me can return. I can hear the echoes of my mom saying, you must never beg friend. And I know that sometimes I think, you know how many mornings are coming and I say blah blah, and I look to you and you're showing me now you don't want it.
Yeah.
So I have to maintain and say, all right, despite whether or not I get it back from you, I'm going to keep doing it because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. It's hard because I do want to become the kid.
Yeah.
Make a do that, very. Right? Okay.
And you?
I think, mine is going to be much the same. Like back to when I started, that actually maintain, you take the lead in saying good morning. Make that continue, as opposed to the selective. Start growing it.
It is.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop 1 and 2 more people who refuse to respond. That's about it. But I will continue to meditate. Not in a bad way, but just, you know, I'll make it harder for them. Put it that way.
You could
Where I
survey,
can.
survey.
Where I
Maybe
can.
find out why was it you didn't
Yeah.
say anything
No.
back.
Yeah, we think about that. But yes, thank you all. Thank you.
I'd like to say a big thank you to our panelists and to our listeners. And the next time you see a brother or a sister, don't ask who's gonna go first. Just do it. And remember, talk the thing. Organize, sit down, reason and talk.